as a sidebar, one of the greatest little anecdotes about this whole thing is that the work is Bach in a Spanish court, but the first movement actually is choreographed to Vivaldi. It's a great bit of trivia. Sometimes when great people are watching it and whatnot, and they're saying, "Oh, I love Bach, it's great," I sit back to see how many people pick up on the fact that the first piece isn't Bach at all. This is the original movement for Bach in the Spanish court. It was developed in a workshop for the Kaleidoscope Dance Theater Summer Dance Intensive. And the most challenging thing was that all of the dancers were of a myriad of different ability levels. But the main concept was to create a work that expressed ballet in a traditional sense, classical ballet, but in a way in which it had an ethnic feel to it. So what better than to explore what ballet would have looked like in the courts, in the royal courts, where of course it was originated, but in a court of ethnic capacity, thus the Spanish courts. So the movement has this very thick cultural feel that's drawn on what I interpreted as a Spanish voice. This here actually is the governess. The governess is teaching both the elder sister, who's a princess, and the younger sister, a princess, whom will be entering the court for the first time. So she's starting to teach her the different protocols, the processes that she's supposed to know. It really ends up being a really wonderful storyline. As the governess, of course, is also, as I said, the queen's best friend, as you see this nice exchange here. And classical ballet is at its best, it's most beautiful when it's simple. So I kept looking for simple lines of conversation, again, with a wonderful voice that is based in this cultural voice. Gosh, I remember this like it was yesterday. Oh, look at that. This next group of gals coming in actually represent the aristocracy, the ladies of the court. The more wealth they have, the more pompous they are. Their objective was, that's how they showed their wealth, by the long back and their proud neck. But again, the flip of the finger, the roll of the wrist that would show just a deep, deep-seated culture and voice that comes from the very proud line of that Hispanic descent. But always paying close attention to the formality. All along, while setting this work, I constantly had to envision it on the American Ballet Theater or the Oakland Ballet, where my dear friend Karen is doing a fantastic job. That's how I see it. Being able to see this in full costumes with point shoes and really, really, really the highest level of skill of ballet dancers, but also that have the ability to speak, to have this whole cultural side. So this is actually the last piece, although it was the second piece when I first approached the work. It was doing the study. And this is the older sister again scolding the younger sister because she has entered the court for the very first time. And here comes the governess. And she runs over and she tells the older sister again, "This is my role, behave." And then enters the queen and the king. And Christina does a fantastic job at being able to approach that kind of feel that I want. And then the gentleman dancing in this particular thing had never formally been trained. So I was very happy that he was even able to access some of the things that I'm looking for. That D-job, bum, bum, bum. Introducing that beautiful triplet, chikakata, chikata, to set up the counterpoint against that. Shakata. Deep-seated moment. And there you have it. So seeing this work set on a quality dance company, I mean, folks that already have the most tremendous technique, this piece lends itself to ability. This is sort of the canon, the folk part of the piece, where we look at traditions and we set movement into a canon, moment of expression, and then these nice little moments here. A classic court moment. And then from the gut, chiquita, chiquita, taki, 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 taki. And then just massive voicing, setting a foundation, counterpoint. And the finish. Great. It's great.
By what?
External stimuli.
By what the person saying to you. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm talking about. It's okay to somehow start the phrase, and then because of what someone else does, it makes you decide that you will accelerate or slow down to get into symmetry with them, to then constantly break that symmetry. Does that make sense? all of a sudden, it's different. Make sense? Everybody try. Hi. Not yet. Ready? Okay, ready? Go ahead. And over and under and over